We are here to celebrate the birthday of our first educational minister, Sir Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Now let's get into the event of honoring our guest. For honoring our guest, I welcome Dr. Mumtaz Begum ma'am to honor our guest, Professor Rajiv Jain sir, Officer on Special Duty, Director Culture and Culture Relations of Pondicherry University. Now I welcome our respected Dean School of Education, Dr. K. Chellamani ma'am, to address the welcome speech.
Very good morning to everyone. Esteemed Professor Rajiv Jain, the Director Culture and Cultural Relations, respected Professor Tarani Karasi, Director of Studies, Educational Innovation and Rural Reconstruction, respected Chief Guest, Professor Parisutta Rajan, Architect, Principal of Swarna Bhumi, School of Architecture, and faculty from other departments, my colleagues of Pondicherry University, and faculty from other teacher education colleges, scholars, students from School of Education, and from various teacher education colleges. Very good morning to everyone, and I am very happy to welcome everybody for this national level special occasion, that National Education Day 2022. This National Education Day is celebrated in India on November 11, since we had unfavorable forecast on that day. We have postponed and we are celebrating it on 17th to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first Education Minister of India. To honor Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the Ministry of Human Resource Development announced November 11 as National Education Day on September 11, 2008. Since then, we have been celebrating. Under the leadership of Azad, the Ministry of Education made significant establishments at higher education. We had our first IIT in 1951. Following this, the University Grants Commission was formed in 1953. All India Council for Technical Education, the so-called AICTE, and the higher education system were also established during his tenure. His contribution in the establishment of the famous Jamia Millia Islamia University in the country is also commendable. He believed that these institutions will prove to be important in the higher education sector in future, and that's what we have been observing. The theme for this year, National Education Day, is Changing Course, Transforming Education, which focuses on the need to nurture transformations to allow access to education for all and help build sustainable futures. Transforming education and changing the course of education to focus on all children learning first require governments to think of innovative ways to reduce education inequalities that shift education system towards learning progress rather than curriculum completion. In these lines, we have our new education policy 2020 intends to bring a transformation both in the structure and function of the education system and in the life of the present generation. We are bound to support the government to effectively and efficiently improve learning outcomes through various training and mentoring methods. Hence, we are here celebrating National Education Day 2022. I take the privilege to welcome all the dignitaries of this special occasion. We are so elated to have Professor Rajiv Jain, Director Culture and Cultural Relations in our celebrations of National Education Day. He is a veteran and renowned scientist. We all know, we faculty had great experience with him in interactions, and he is known for his immaculate service in our university. On behalf of School of Education, I am very happy to welcome you, sir. We are honored to have Director of Studies, Educational Innovation and Rural Reconstruction, Professor Tarni Karasu, who is amidst us in spite of his busiest schedule of course. Professor had his higher education from University of Madras, and he is the recipient of Korea Research Foundation, Japan Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, and JSPS Postdoc Fellowship. From 2000 to 2003, he worked as a project officer in the Department of Chemistry, IIT Madras. From 2003 to 2010, he worked as a faculty member in the Department of Chemistry, University of Delhi. In September 2010, he moved to Department of Chemistry, that is our university, Pondicherry, as a full professor. He was HOD of the department from 2015 to 2018. During this period, he also served as registrar in charge and controller of examination in charge for about 9 months and 1 year and 8 months respectively at Pondicherry University. I got the opportunity to work with him as a coordinator of recruitment, and I observed him as a scientist with precise acumen. We are fortunate to have you on this day of national significance, Professor. On behalf of School of Education, I am happy to welcome you, sir. And we are very happy to have Professor Chandrasekhar Rao, officer in charge CDC, with us, which added more significance of this day. He has been with us spearheading the tree plantation and waving the flag at the start of the rally. We had a lengthy rally today, and we really owe a lot to Professor Chandrasekhar Rao, the senior professor from Commerce Department, and my acquaintance. I have understood that he is a fraternity to all diligent and fervent endeavors, and we feel very privileged to have him in the morning. For certain reasons, he is busy with his official work, hence he is not able to join now. But we really thank him and we welcome him on behalf of School of Education. Architecture is the art and technique of designing and building, as distinguished from the skills associated with construction. It is both the process and the product of sketching, conceiving, planning, designing, and constructing buildings or other structures. Similar to it is education. Education is the art and technique of designing and executing, teaching, learning process to construct knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes among the learners. On this celebration of National Education Day, we have an architect and Professor Shri Parisutarajan as chief guest, an apt personality with us. Professor Parisutarajan, a passionate researcher with 25 years of experience in landscape architecture and ecological studies. Exceptional expertise and interest in explorative research in native plant material and its ecosystem services for well-being of humankind and blue planet. Highly organized, collaborative, and participative team player with sound knowledge and know-how on software skills to complete project on time and within the projected budget allotment. He had completed his doctorate work, and he belongs to School of Planning and Architecture, Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. Other than being an architect, he has been rendering his expertise as an academician, delivering lectures to various universities. He is also an administrator as principal of Mark Institute of Design and Architecture, Swarnabhumi, Chennai. We are happy to welcome you, sir, and waiting to listen your address on this auspicious occasion. Celebrations are always with a mass of people. We are happy to welcome the faculty and students from teacher education colleges and from our sister concern, physical education, who have come from distance. That Karaikal also we have students today. Thank you all for making the day gorgeous. On behalf of School of Education, I welcome you all. And on behalf of School of Education, I thank Professor Subramani Raju, HOD of the Center for South Asian Studies, UMISAC. Thank you, sir, for his immediate consent for the venue and the support from faculty and staff. On behalf of School of Education, we sincerely thank the Deputy Registrar, Horticulture Wing, for giving the opportunity to plant trees in our campus. On behalf of School of Education, we sincerely thank EMRC of our university for their excellent documentation of events. I am very happy to welcome my colleagues, faculty from other departments and School of Education, scholars, students and participants. Once again, I welcome you all. Let us enrich ourselves listening to the dignitaries of today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chellamani ma'am, for your valuable speech. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad once said, "Education imparted by heart can bring revolution in the society, and we teachers are here to bring this to act." Now I welcome Professor Rajiv Jain sir, Officer on Special Duty, Director Culture and Cultural Relations of Pondicherry University, to give the presidential address. Welcome, sir.
Professor Dharnikarsu, Director Studies and also Pro Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor P. Rajan, Chief Guest of the session, Principal, Marg Institute of Design and Architecture, Chennai, Professor Chellamani, Dean School of Education, Professor Shirikala, faculty, fellow colleagues and participants. It is my pleasure to be among you in commemorating the birth anniversary of Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad as the National Education Day celebration 2022. As all of we know, again we may repeat, a visionary, an educationist and a freedom fighter known as Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, but the name was, because he was born in Makkah, his name was Abdul Kalam Ghulam Muhyiddin Ahmad bin Karuddin Al Hussain Azad, who was born in Mecca on 11th November 1982, was an Indian independence activist, Islamic theologist, writer and a senior leader of the Indian National Congress. Following independence, he became the first Minister of Education in the Indian government. He was a member of the team of Mahatma Gandhi, who was leading the movement, freedom movement at that time, and he was in unison with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Patel at that time, along with other national leaders. Azad stood by Gandhi with most other leaders, but reluctantly endorsed the Congress exit from the assemblies in 1939, following the inclusion of India in World War II. At that time, leader was such that they were free. They take their views, and he opposed the support to the Britishers for World War, inclusion in World War II in 1942. Nationalists were influenced that Viceroy Lord Lavington had entered into India the war without consulting national leaders. Although willing to support the British efforts in return for independence, Azad sided with Gandhi when the British ignored the Congress overtures. Even then, although he was not in support of the All India Congress at that time, of the view to support the movement, to support the inclusion in the Second World War, but he supported the Gandhi because they were working in unison. Azad's criticism of Jinnah and the League intensified as Jinnah called Congress rule in the provinces as Hindu Raj, calling the resignation of the Congress ministers as a day of deliverances for Muslims. As the Muslim League adopted a resolution calling for a separate Muslim state, that is Pakistan, in its session in Lahore 1914, Azad was elected Congress president in its session in Ramgarh. Speaking vehemently against Jinnah's two-nation theory, the notion that Hindu and Muslims were distinct nations, Azad lambasted religious separatism, exhorted all Muslims to preserve a united India, as all Hindus and Muslims were Indians who share deep bonds with brotherhood and nationhood. At that time, such were the secular leaders that they opposed, even he was Muslim, but he opposed the two-nation theory propagated by, at that time, by Mr. Jinnah. Supporting the call for British to quit India, Azad began exhorting thousands of people in rallies across the nation to prepare for a desperate, all-out struggle. As Congress President, Azad travelled across India and met with local and provincial Congress leaders and grassroots activists, delivering speeches and planning the rebellion. Azad worked closely with Patel and Dr. Rajendra Prasad to make the rebellion as effective as possible. On August 7, 1942, at the Gogla tank in Mumbai, Congress President Azad inaugurated the struggle with a vociferous speech exhorting Indians into action. Just 2 days after, the British arrested Azad and the entire Congress leadership. After partition and independence on 15th August 1947, brought with it a scourge of violence and swept the states of Punjab, Bihar, Bengal, Delhi and many other parts of India. Millions of Hindus fled the newly created Pakistan for India, and millions of Muslims fled for West Pakistan and East Pakistan created out of East Bengal. Violence claimed the lives of an estimated 1 million people, almost entirely in Punjab. Azad took up responsibility for the safety of Muslims in India, touring affected areas in Bengal, Bihar, Assam and the Punjab, guiding the organization of refugee camps, supplies and security. Azad gave speeches to large crowds, encouraging peace and calm in the border areas and encouraging Muslims across the country to remain in India and not fear for their security and safety. Azad remained a close confidant, supporter and advisor to Prime Minister Nehru at that time and played an important role in framing national policies. Azad masterminded the creation of national programs of schools and colleges, construction and spreading the enrollment of children and young adults into school to promote universal primary education. In 1956, he served as president of the UNESCO General Conference held in India. Azad spent the final years of his life focusing on writing his book, India Wins Freedom, an exhaustive account of India's freedom struggle and its leaders, which was published in 1959. Such books should be read by our youngsters who do not know much about the history of freedom struggle and the situation prevailing at that time. As India's first Minister of Education, he emphasized on educating the rural poor and girls. As chairman of the Central Advisory Board of Education, he gave thrust to adult literacy, universal primary education, free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14, girls' education and diversification of secondary education and vocational training. He oversaw the setting of the Central Institute of Education, Delhi, which later became the Department of Education of the University of Delhi, as a research center for solving new education problems of the country. Under his leadership, the Ministry of Education established the first Institute of Technology and the University Grants Commission in 1953. He also laid emphasis on the development of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and the Faculty of Technology, of the Delhi University. He foresaw a great future in the IITs for India. For such an educationist, it is fitness of things to commemorate the day in his name on his birth anniversary and the outcome of the national education policy on this third birthday on 2022. So I thank the organizer for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to interact with the participants and all the persons present here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv Jain sir, for your address. We teachers are not just here to teach, but we also inspire. So from your words, we were able to get that, sir. Now I welcome Professor K. Tharanikeresu sir, Director, Directorate of Studies, Educational Innovation and Rural Reconstruction, Pondicherry University.
So it is not Puducherry University, it is Pondicherry University. Anyway, respected Culture and Cultural Relation Director, Professor Rajiv Jain, and our Dean, School of Education, Professor K. Chellamani, and the Chief Guest, Professor Parishutta Rajan, and all the faculty members from the department, including Professor Sri Kala and Vijay Kumar, and other madam is there. So all the faculty members, the students from colleges, and the faculty members from colleges, a very good morning. In fact, it is good afternoon. So I came to know that you went for the tree plantation and then education rally. So I am very happy to be part of this National Education Day celebrations. So since students are there, I thought, already our Director Culture and Culture Relations talk about the importance of the work of the great Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, and Madam also introduced about what are the work of importance of National Education National Education Day celebrations. I thought I will, since students are there, the objective of education, that is only nowadays it is confused with the other stream of teaching. If you go to engineering, or this is a professional course, but if you go to engineering or medicine, there you should have the skills. Their aim is different, but the aim and objective of the education is totally different. And the entrepreneurs who start the education colleges, they are also confused with this objective, and they hire the teachers also confused with this objective. I don't know whether as a students, the B.Ed students, whether you are clear on this objective or not. Because I could see 2 colleges, I think education colleges, correct madam? 2 colleges are there. 6 colleges, okay. I could see the red color college. What is this college? Krishnaswamy, okay, good. So any one of you can tell what is the objective of education? Anyone? Anyone? What is the objective? Because you are going to be the teacher, you are going to teach the kids. Because why I am I am giving emphasis on this is, even now teachers are not clear what is the education, and the students also not clear. Ultimately, these people also comprises the society. Some of the European countries, they give more emphasis on teachers. Teachers are highly respected in the society, but unfortunately in our society it is not so. Teachers, they give very least importance. Nowadays they are not able to convince whatever they want to do, inculcate in the students also. They are really confused. Earlier, teachers used to be a role model for the students. Now that has also gone. So where we are all leading? This is the important question. Each you have to think about this, and unless otherwise you know what for you are now being studied, being trained, it is of no use. I know the teachers' education here in our Pondicherry affiliated colleges. So I think the affiliated colleges also really confused. They want to give only degree, that's all, to the education students. And the students also, they want only degree, get a job. Is it we have to go like this? Because why? See, if engineer becomes engineer, that is also role model. That's also very important. But still, if you have a skill, that's all. If that skill is properly is learned, then definitely he can do his job. Whereas the teachers, if what are the qualities you have, it really reflects in the society. So if you take back the history of this education, no, generally we follow now the Greek philosophy. We are not following our, it should be honest here, we are not following the Indian way of education system. We are following always the Greek way of, all our education is based on the Greek. Through Europe we got the Greek way of education. The first person who told that education is must. The human being cannot learn themselves and they have to be taught. This is nothing other than, who is the person who told this, that we have to tell the people, gather the people, and then we have to teach them. Plato was the first person who said that we have to teach the people so that society will improve as per the Greek philosophy. So why he said that? Because as a human we cannot learn ourselves. That's why we gather everything and we have to teach. Then later on his student came and his guide also play a major role. So this is how our education system started. But we, off the way, we forget everything now. The main objective of the teaching is we have to inculcate good qualities to the students. Are we really doing this? Are we really going to do this? Please learn these things. We are not here to just go and tell the facts to the students. Our major role is we have to be role model and we have to teach them good things. We have to find out the way. We have to worry about our society. If these type of students are there, how our society is going to be there in future? Please think all those lines. Your objective of the teachers is you have to inculcate good culture, good values to the students. So your job is like a mother in a family. So you are all mothers for the society. So you have to, whether it's a female or male, you are going to be the mothers of the society. Since I don't think nobody will tell this, even education system will not tell this. They will only give degree. But you have to take in those lines and you have to train yourself and work for this principle. So this is for this only we are all celebrating this education day, and every year we are celebrating on the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Why? We have to understand the importance of education and the values. Our Indian values are, no doubt our values are good, but are we getting through the education? That is the question mark. That's why the national education policy, now they introduce the Indology and yoga, the compulsory in national education policy in higher education. Of course, we are trying to inculcate. So basically our principles are Indian based, our education systems are Western based. That's why we are all confused. So our government is trying to establish, trying to reinvent the education, Indian-based education system, and to some extent, that national education policy is also trying to establish this. And I hope this National Education Policy 2020 will bring changes, not only skill development, for you also the skill to make the society more the culture based as well as the value based society. I thought I will share this because this is what missing in the educational colleges. I thought I will share this. So if you know this, sorry for this telling this. This is my duty. So to mention this, the objective of the education. And thank you for inviting, madam, for this occasion. So thank you all for sharing this, for giving me the opportunity to share this, my thought. So thank you one and all. Thank you.
Happy afternoon to one and all. Almost 12:30 now. A really happy day today for me here to be with you all, and I should thank Madam Professor Chalamani for the invite. It's a special day for all of us here, as Professor Raju Jain very nicely spoke about our first education minister. He read his biography, gave us an insight on what he was all about and what was his education is all about. And he is one man who was even given the thrust or the initial thrust of women education in India, which I just want to add. He believed educating the women is very important for such a large nation, the new India. Thank you, sir, for the insight. Really a great inspiration from Professor Tarani Karasu on understanding the values. Really, I go back to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's speech. He says everything is there today in the country, but the values are missing. Please address that. Very true, sir. The values are eroded. And a country like India had great values, and we were the foreigners of showing values to the world. It's a very good point, sir. And you asked the students of Krishnaswamy about education. I will tell them now. All the respected faculty members from all the schools of education and also from the Pondicherry University, and my dear students who are going to be the future educationists of this great nation from this great university. Vanakkam. I am really happy and delighted to address this August gathering on this celebration to commemorate the birth anniversary of the India's first education minister, Shri Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, for his exemplary contribution to education. And the Ministry of Education celebrates, as the speakers who spoke before told about, 11th of November is celebrated in a big way all over the country. And good, we have in place the Ministry of Education. And as a profession of architecture, when we went into teaching architecture, we always used to envy at you people. You have a professional stream to learn, to train as a program of B.Ed, M.Ed. But we never had in our profession, which was always missing, even missing today. So that way you all are fortunate becoming a professional teacher. As Sir said, rightly, you are going to be the mother of the new generation or the next generation to come in. Globally, these celebrations are celebrated on a theme basis, and this year the United Nations calls to ideate on a theme, changing course, transforming education. The powerful words. Powerful words. How do we look at them? Through various lenses, various perspectives, which will vary from individual to individual, because we believe every human being is a species of its own kind. That's why we have so many doctors, because one doctor cannot serve. Similarly, here education also is to do with the great species which differ from each other, and our perceptions have to transform, our lookout has to get transformed. That is why this year the call for transforming education has been given a great thrust. So my speech today is going to be structured in two parts. The first one, giving you the gist or giving you a brush up of what education is all about and its importance. Even though you know about some of them, but it's always better to ideate, it's always look back, understand with the lenses what I have or what I perceive, the way I perceive, so that you all can take it further the way you want and at last to the masses. Secondly, I would like to touch upon what this phrase of transforming education, why there is a need, why there is a call for transformation. அப்படியே இருக்கலாமே, ஏன் மாற்றம், ஏன் மாறணும் இல்லையே. Even in nature the things are changing, no? So transformation is required based on the various aspects. So that is what I'm going to touch on, and I would like to start with my first component of what is education is all about and why education is important. Why there's a huge thrust of training people towards education, giving them the right instruments, the right tools, the right pedagogy, the techniques for teaching the younger ones. So as we know, knowledge plays a very important role. As Sir said, the words of Plato, you have to impart that knowledge in the common man. And we know very well our country had that traditional knowledge, traditional wisdom in great manner. But today, as Sir rightly pointed out, we are lost because of the 300 years of British rule. Our pedagogy, traditional medicine, traditional techniques of doing, even in our own field of construction, you see the great temples what the Cholas have built. Today you are seeing it in PS1. I think everybody has seen PS1. The way there was a kind of a commotion, peace, fight, it all goes on. Sometimes it would have looked like barbaric. Sometimes it would have been something which is not true too. But still it happens, no? Still there's a war going on, Ukraine. So this all goes on. See, how do we combat that? Education is the only tool or the powerful tool which can eradicate all this. So therefore, we have to understand the magnitude of education and its various perspectives, keeping the society as the foci. The society should be focused. What the society wants, what the individuals want, because the individuals make the society. So, be a individual-centric and a society-centric education will definitely give us new ideas to explore and also gives us a lot of confidence and also make our life much better in shaping the right or taking the right decision at the right moment. Today, we all know we are in the digital world, and you all know the digital world is once again a very powerful tool which our country is handling. இன்னைக்கு எதுவாக இருந்தாலும் யாரும் காசு எடுக்கிறதே கிடையாது, எல்லாம் ஜிபே, பேடிஎம். Am I right? It's a very powerful tool. Just like that, you are transferring money. You don't touch the currency at all. You just like the transfer money. You use credit cards. Just like that, you swipe the cards. But once again, there's a lot of challenge. Without knowing the challenge, without knowing the various fraudulent things which happens in that, once again I'm coming, education is one thing which gives you the insight. If you're educated, you know how to handle that powerful tool for your betterment, for your transaction, maybe anything, for your purchase, whatever is it. So coming to that aspect of safety against crime is one important component which education takes away. Women empowerment, very important component, and I am really proud that way to say Tamil Nadu stands top in the states of the country on women empowerment, because the leaders of this state had that vision from day one. That is why we have the literacy of women high in our state. Poverty eradication, you all know very well. Poverty is one component which no one should face in life. So education gives you that insight on how do we come out of that. It may be through getting good jobs. You can be a job creator as well as a job seeker, and you can do your job with dignity. As I told earlier, prevention of war and terrorism. You all know how terrorism has been planted or implanted in the various soils of various countries, and how the terrorists are funded because they don't have any other job to do in life, and their education level is so shallow or nil. How do you make their life? Mainly because of these funds which increase the terrorism in that nation or in that state. Next is on the law and order maintenance. You are educated, you know the law of the land, and you know how to behave yourselves, and also how do you behave with your brothers and sisters and your fellow countrymen. This gives once again a nation its development, and that's why we call the nation as a developed nation when people are educated. Citizens understand their potential and how do they progress, which way to progress is one eye-opener by education. Voting, how to franchise your vote is also another important tool or important insight what education gives. As I told you, education needs quality, and as sir also was highlighting on that quality, it should not be a education which is paper based. It should be a knowledge based. Getting the degree, getting the paper, getting it registered with the Department of Employment doesn't do well, doesn't do good. So that paper should have its knowledge, that knowledge should be in you. So high quality is one thing, and especially on the territory or the tertiary level or the lower level of education, that is the primary middle school level. And this is another emerging field in education. People are now sensitized towards climate change and issues on environment, because they are doing lot of things which are not good to be done to our environment. And today really I'm happy that way when Madam Chalamani said we are going to do a tree planting. I was really happy. That's how a program should start. Let us care for the environment first. And I was telling Madam, ma'am, now on, please plant in your campus native plants which belongs to this forest type, which is called the tropical evergreen forest. And this forest type is once again a dwindling forest in our country. We have a very little patch of this forest in India, and university having quite a good estate, the right place to plant. So this, once again, education plays an important role in sharing that thought process, and also to combat climate change, because today climate change, we know very well, melting of glaciers, flooding of rivers. Even our program was stalled by the cloudburst, which was supposed to happen on 11th, is happening on 17th. And immediately we say urban floods. Why urban floods? Because things are not planned properly. Our cities are not designed for it. They cannot take the cloudburst at all. And when it rains, it doesn't rain few centimeters for you, few centimeters for me. No, it rains for everybody, it pours for everybody, and that's how law of nature is all about. So education is once again sharpens our mind towards this, and also it helps us in keeping our cities and towns cleaner, healthier, hygienic. Further, education emphasizes on creativity, and really I believe in that, because you become well versed with the techniques or the tools of education. And as I told you, every species on human species on this earth needs a different approach of teaching. And even today, some schools I see their mantra, no teaching, only learning. And another interesting school I saw, education is an ornament. That's their motto. So how beautifully they are looking at education is once again being creative through the techniques. And as Sir was talking about the new education or the national education policy, which is now new to us, which has been reframed in a newer manner for transforming, they have included drama, art, public speaking, entrepreneurship, photography, diplomacy, even political science. We all have to become leaders one day. Otherwise, who will take care of this great nation? So this is very important. See, because these are all some of the advancements, these are some of the additives that you add to the skills of education in a creative manner. And role of institution plays a very important role. That is why today we are in the university campus in this auditorium. This institution which has so many affiliate colleges, உங்களை தாங்கி பிடிக்கிறாங்க. Come to our campus. Be with us for a day. Let us celebrate this great day in our campus. இல்லை நீங்களா வருவீங்களா இங்கே? வரமாட்டீங்க இல்லை? யூனிவர்சிட்டி எங்கேயோ இருக்குது, காலப்பட்டு யார் போவாங்க? So this is how institutions like university should play an important role. Thank you ma'am for that. Thank you sir for that. It's a real the way forward that you are given to all these affiliate schools in the Union Territory of Pondicherry. They are really blessed that way. They are really blessed that way. Then finally, I would like to give you some insight on counseling. Today, this need for counseling is very important, because tomorrow you are all going to be the great educationists of this great nation. And also, how you can do the counseling at various levels, at the primary, secondary and the higher education level is very important, because the counseling varies from one level to the other level. It's not the same at all. What you teach, the way the playway method taught to the Anganwadi kids is not the same for the higher education kid or a student or a scholar. So let us understand that. That's why this national education policy throws light on that education of 10 plus 2, what we follow now, into 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, where Nicely, they have divided that into foundation, where you learn the foundation of education in your preschool, in your elementary school, then 3 years of preparatory, that is your middle school, then you come with your high school, and then the secondary of 4 years. So put together, it goes much beyond 10 plus 2 way of looking at education. Then higher education, a great challenge. We also face the same challenge in our profession of architecture. Ours is a 5 years program, 1 year internship. They have to go abroad in India. They have to 1 year, they have to train themselves. How do we look at higher education through the lenses of this particular NEP? 4 years bachelor's. And this counseling I was talking about is very important. In spite of all this, the dropouts are very high in our country. That may be various reasons. The finance is one major issue. Even in spite of the first graduate scholarships what students get, they enroll, they don't continue. This is for all, whether it's BSc, BCom, BA, BArch, BE, BTech, anything. So all this happens. So counseling is very important. And how do we look at through this NEP? That's a very nice way they have approached, NEP is approached, but it's going to have its own teething problems, I'm sure, but definitely we will transform ourselves. Now they are looking at, if you want to do 1 year and you want to go into the profession, it can be a certificate course, 2 years it can be a diploma, 3 years can be bachelor's, and if you want to do a multidisciplinary master's, it can be 4 years, something like that. And even the system of honors is coming back. Yesterday, I got a mail from the director of education of the technical education, Anna University, saying that Anna University is back with BE BTech honors, BE BTech minor. So there's a change which is happening even in our profession also. But luckily we don't have it for BArch. That way we, for time being, I'm relieved. So there are various regulatory measures what this NEP calls for, which our speakers have touched upon, which I would just like to give it in detail so that you all are aware of it and you are all prepared, and let this be a capacity building for you all. Higher Education Commission has been divided into 4 different verticals. One is National Higher Regulatory Council. The second one is National Accreditation Council. Third one is Higher Education Grants Council. And the fourth one, General Education Council. Under this General Education Council, National Council for Teacher Education is been added. And also the professional standards setting boards like Council of Architecture, Council of Law, all has been added. So we all come under the same parent body. With education or architecture, we are under the umbrella of General Education Council. And with this regulatory, with this approach, the NEP is going to be taken forward, and the education is going to be looked at the way it has to be. Now I'm coming to the next theme of the changing course and transforming education. I just want to give some inputs so that you all understand why that transformation is required in education. I go back once again to the words of Ramana Maharishi. You should ask yourself, who am I? If you don't ask yourself, who am I, you will not know whom you are. So let us look at the transformation. Why? Let us ask why this transformation is required. What is the causative factors? Why it is required? Mainly to understand the values of education, the knowledge skills which are today becoming more digital, and how do we make the well-being of the human and also the life on earth. That includes the human. Educational transformation refers to a kind of a systemic changes in the prevailing educational model. So there is a need for a new model. This transformation calls for a new model. How do we distinguish ourselves? How do we look at the reforms on renovation of these models? How do we maintain those teaching learning process within that structure of the what they call the organization structure? How do you get those theories done, which is the teaching learning theories? How do you transform those theories to the students who are senior as well as junior? And how do you make the subject matter flexible for them? That's why today you have all online MOOC courses you have at the ease of your house, ease of your comfort, you can learn, you can get a certificate. So this is once again transformation. The subject matter is transformed, given to in a nicer manner. At your ease, you can do the program, you can take the certification, you can bring the credit to the university will recognize it, it is given as a credit to you, whatever 3 credits or 2 credits, whatever they are qualified for, they will be given to you and you can complete your program successfully. Secondly, it transforms teaching and also it empowers the teachers who are going to be the teachers or who are going to be the next level of teachers of special caliber, tech savvy. Finally, it helps you in looking at the pedagogy with strategies. Anything should have a strategy. Strategic planning is a very important component. Even in education today, we have to have a strategy. Without strategy, we cannot succeed. Even all the games, they have a strategy, no? You can see all the matches, T20, full of strategy only. Which ball to hit for a 6, which ball not to hit. Similarly here, strategy plays a very important role and this calls for a critical reflection. Discussions, dialogues, symposiums, seminars, so on and so forth. That is why this day, what we are celebrating now, is very important for all of us. Where to ideate, how to ideate. We come together as a community, we ideate. We discuss, we create a dialogue. So that is what is important and that reflection is definitely going to be a great one and that's the final one which this transformation can bring you. Finally, with these few words, as I told you, let us have education as an ornament, a beautiful ornament, a precious ornament, and let us decorate ourselves with that ornament and also spread the happiness to the entire world through education so that people enjoy their life on earth. So with these few words, once again, with these insights, I thank the management, the School of Education, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and also inspire you that to the best level possible so that you all will be people of inspiration. And once again, I wish you all a very happy National Education Day. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your words, sir. Now we have some achievers here. We would like you to present the awards to the representatives of each college of education. I request the representatives of each college to come forward and collect the certificates. Firstly, I would like to welcome the representative of Pope John College of Education to get the certificates. Thank you. Now we have the representative of Vivekananda College of Education here to collect the certificates. Now we have the representative of Krishnaswamy College of Education to get the certificates. Now I welcome our respected Professor Srikala Imam to give the vote of thanks. Thank you.
My dear students, all the students who are present here, students from MEd, all the PhD scholars, all the students from B.Ed colleges, we thank you first, Pondicherry University and School of Education. Thank you for coming here. You have listened to all the dignitaries here who complimented each other. We have not planned anything. It was not a curriculum that we have planned, and all of them talked on different issues, starting from the history of nation, going through the objectives of education, then the chief guest talking about different pillars of education. All of us have enjoyed, all of us have listened to the message of the day, transforming education. This word transforming education is mentioned in all Education Commission reports. Maybe let us not talk about NEP 2020 because you are hearing about it a lot. Let's talk about Kothari Commission. Again, the first 2-3 pages will be talking about transformation of education. We have been hearing this often, and all of us are confused how to transform education. All the dignitaries, without any plan actually, have talked about transforming education. So, we had good time today. We have been taking photographs, we have been sloganeering, we have been listening to people. At the same time, the message of today, even without your knowledge, this fire would have gone inside you. Changing course and transforming education. So you were asked many times, transforming education, how do we do it? There's a very beautiful word over there, changing course. I was just referring to Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission, I don't know whether you have noticed it. It says about a danger that all teachers do. You know, a danger that all teachers can do is having a role model. Now you would ask me, is it a bad thing to have a role model? It is a bad thing to have a role model. This is what the man behind Kothari Commission, I don't know whether you have heard about him, JP Nayak sir says, the danger that all the teachers follow is following somebody. I follow my mother is a teacher, or I follow my teacher. So Nayak sir says, this following of somebody stop you from thinking, stop you from changing, stop you from changing the course, because traditionally somebody have been doing something, I follow the same, because every day teaching strategies change, every day researches happen, every day our planning has to be changed. We don't take it up, he observes it as a danger. This is one blockade of transforming education, that we teachers do not change. It is sometimes difficult for us because human beings, when they grow, it is difficult to change. Habits die very hard. If you ask me to change on many things, even when I know, it's very difficult for me to change. But you are youngsters, young people, with you lies the nation. It's easy for you to change. Maybe it is you try to change me and I give a lecture for you to change. Maybe it is very difficult for me to change. But as youngsters, even when it is difficult for you to change the course, changing the course, if you have a confusion over it, I don't intend to take a class. I'm just trying to compliment with these 4 great teachers here on the stage, just to conclude what they have been saying. Changing the course is very difficult because you will have to go out of your comfort zone. Changing the course is you walk on a line which other people have shown you. You will have to use your brain and change this normal course or normal flow of the river. You will have to sometimes take challenges, take risks, and then transform the nation. I'm here to thank all of you. The first thanks go to all the students who joined us today. You would have, thank you. Maybe it was not intended, but I'm very sure as a teacher, you are carrying a fire inside you. You have taken a part of the fire from us, from the university. Keep that fire inside you, inside of you, at the center of you, and keep it ignited always, and take it ahead. As I told you, the nation is with you. Thank you. And then I thank all the dignitaries today.